Hello friends, welcome to iExamB. I'm Satakshi and I'm your English faculty at iExamB. And in this video, we will discuss something very important, and that is 100 rules of grammar. Now, these rules will be very important for you if you're appearing for any exam, be it government or private or SSC or banking. And these rules will be essential for you while solving error detection questions particularly. Right? So, अब rules देखते हैं. Rule number 51 says how should we use a and, right? So you should use a and an in the following cases only: when you are referring to one, right? Or when it means any, or when you are using a proper noun as a common noun, right? So for example, a bird in hand is better than two in the bush. Here a is used because a refers to one. Okay, if it had been egg here, then you would use an, right, according to the usage of vowel sound or not. Okay, you have to decide between a and. Now next example is: a student should obey his teacher. So here a means that any student, right, should obey his teacher, right? We need an Einstein to solve this complex mathematical problem. So we are using this as a common noun, and here an Einstein refers to an intelligent person, right? So in these cases you must use a and an, okay, or an. Rule number 52 says the rule of using the, right? So you have to use the in the following cases when you're talking about something particular, right? That's obvious. Let's go to the park. We know which park the speaker is talking about. Okay, so that particular park. When you're talking about superlatives, the brightest star. Okay, when you're talking about numbers, ordinals, the ninth chapter, the seventh testament, something like this. Okay, musical instruments, the flute, the violin. Comparatives, the more the merrier. All right, also you should use the in proper names of ocean, seas, rivers and canals, of deserts and islands, of mountain ranges and certain countries, right? And these certain countries are those that have been formed as one unit but are individually separate units, right? We'll see example. So for oceans, the Indian Ocean, the Red Sea, the Thar Desert, the Galapagos, or the Alps, the UK, the USA, the Philippines. So here we know that when we talk about the UK, it was a part of small kingdoms, right? And collectively they were called the UK. The USA, again, it is United States of America, different states combined to form one, right? Philippines, again, different islands combined to form one. Okay, next rule says that you don't have to use any articles in these cases when you are using uncountable nouns and in general sense, when you are using plural countable noun but in general sense. So broadly, whenever you are talking in general sense, you generally avoid using any article, right? Most proper nouns, right, you don't have to use any article before them except the ones that we just mentioned, right? Like, you know, mountain ranges and things like that, right? Now, for example, sugar is unhealthy. We are talking of uncountable noun in general sense, okay? Or children must be sent to school. We can count children. They are countable nouns. They are plural, but then again, it is being talked about in general sense, okay? And proper nouns: Abraham Lincoln, Gopal, Ram, Sita. You don't use any article before these names, all right? Next is, you don't have to use again any article when you're talking about facility words like school, college, hospital, bed, like these, when they are used in their primary, for their primary purpose, right? If you say that you're going to bed to sleep, then obviously you will say you will not say the bed, you will say I'm going to bed. Okay, similarly before relations, right? Mother will come tomorrow, right? You will not say the mother, because we know that if I am speaking, I'm talking about my mother. All right, certain phrases also where we say that I will be there by noon, right? So by noon, you will not say by the noon. So whenever a preposition is there and it is followed by an object, right? Also when a transitive verb is there and is followed by an object, for example, to take what chance, to set what foot. Okay, so even in such cases you don't use any article, right? We'll see some examples. I learned this at school. Now we know that we are talking about, the person who's speaking is talking about his particular school, right? So we don't need to use any article because this learning is a trait of the school that happens in the school, right? college gave me confidence, right? So it is the duty of the college to actually give you a platform and to make you study, and it will boost your confidence, right? This is correct usage. College gave me confidence, hence no article is required here, right? I'm going to bed. Okay, again, bed is used for sleeping. Again, no article is required before bed. All right. Father will visit you tomorrow. The person who's speaking, his father will visit you tomorrow. Okay. Nurse has left. Whose nurse? Our nurse. If you say the nurse has left, so then you will say, it would mean that you're talking about the particular nurse which has already been mentioned somewhere. Both the parties know which nurse is being talked about. Here we know we are talking about a common nurse that we all know. If I'm the speaker, I know it is it is my nurse that I'm talking about, right? When you're using the nurse, you should have mentioned this nurse before, that the nurse whose duty was in this particular room, right? Now, boss hates me. Now we know whose boss the speaker is talking about, right? My boss hates me. Here also no article is required, right? Also, I'll be there by noon. Okay, she decided to take chance. Okay, so these are the examples where you need not use any article. Now this one says repetition of article. Generally article is repeated, not consecutively, but in the case when two nouns are combined by and, right? So when these two nouns, they refer to different people or things, then you have to use nouns before both article before both the nouns, right? But when they refer to same person or thing, then the article should be used only before the first noun, right? For example, a black and white bag. When the article is used only before the first noun, that is only before black but not white, it means that black and white is the characteristic of this one bag. Okay, so same bag that has that is black as well as white in color. Okay, but if I say a black and a white bag, it will mean that there are two bags out of which one is black and the other is white. Okay, so this is the difference in the repetition of article and when you using article only one time. Okay, now this one is one very important rule when you are talking about the sequence of different forms of persons. Persons is first person, the speaker; second person, the listener; and third person who is not a part of the conversation. Okay, so when we are talking about positive sentences, all right, sequence should be, you always give priority to you, to the listener. Okay, so when we are talking about positive sentences, so 2, 3, 1, you give least priority to the speaker. But when you are making a confession or when you are using plural forms, you will always give priority to first person first, then second, and then third. All right, this is one order that you must remember. So this becomes this particular arrangement. If we are talking about I, she, and you, then it will become you, she, I, if it is a positive sentence. If we are talking about we, plural forms, right, then it will be first person, the speaker will be we, you, and they. Okay, this will be the sequence. Same sequence when you're talking about any confession, that we, you, and they are guilty of this crime. Okay, this is how you will use. Next rule says that when you are talking about a personal pronoun and its accusative case, right? So you have to take care of you and I and you and me, right? And this is the trick. To use me and I correctly, you have to use this trick. If you can replace this phrase containing me or I with us, then you have to use me there. If you can replace this phrase you and I or you and me with we, then you have to use I there, right? So for example, these are two sentences. You and dash were invited to the party. They did not invite dash to the party. Now you have to comment the answer in the comment section below. One will use here me or I, and two will use what, me or I. Okay, so comment in the comment section below. Okay, now next rule says that whenever you are using me with you but, right, you but, then you always have to use me, never you but I, right? The usage should be in this form: no one will stand by you but me, right? So this means that I will stand by you, no one else will, right? So in this particular case, we always use you but me. Okay, Last rule for today, it says that whenever we have joined two nouns, right, and each noun precedes by each or every, then your pronoun must always be singular. All right, so here every painter and every singer was waiting for his turn. You can also write her turn, right, but this must always be singular, right? This is all for this video, friends, and we'll have more rules in upcoming videos. Please subscribe to our channel if you already have not. Please press the bell icon to continue receiving the updates of the videos we bring for you. Download our app and rate it and have all your tips and tricks on your fingertips.